here, your straight talk, no chaser guide to freedom, choosing to live in the presence of truth or nothing at all. And I am super excited to be back here on YouTube with you guys. If you follow me on Facebook, you've probably been seeing my life updates, but if YouTube is where you follow me, you probably have noticed that I did take a little hiatus. And that is because this last year, I really went into deep isolation, deep solitude. I no longer had a want to share my life with y'all. Well, in a way where I was like recording everything I was doing, like that is what the initial interest was. But as I started to go into my isolation, as I started to go into this deep healing process, it really became personal, very, very personal, and just beautiful too, right? Like everything that I've experienced this last year living in Merida, Mexico, which is probably the last thing you saw me upload, was my big move to Merida, Mexico from the States. I've learned so much, right? Learned so much about myself, learned so much about my daughter, learned so much about mothering and being a minimalist and not needing so much to feel, valued and validated and all the things. So I've been learning so much about myself. And at the beginning of my move to Merida, I didn't have the words for it, right? I wasn't super spiritual. I wasn't religious. I didn't know anything about the Bible. And I had no idea that I was really going down a path of righteousness. I really had no idea that sexual alchemy was going to lead me down a path of getting to know God on a deep, deep level, right? And so through my practices in Merida, right, like grounding and getting out in the sun and eating fresh fruits and vegetables every single day and going to hot yoga every single day. And of course, their sun there is just penetrating, right, on another level, right? It penetrates your soul deeply. And so that in itself was very healing. Dancing on my balcony, just getting in the flow of my feminine essence and really letting go of all the parts of me that no longer serve me, right? And sitting through that, right? Sitting through those very intense feelings, sitting through the feelings of divorce, sitting through the feelings of, being a motherless woman, right? My mother died in 2020. So, sitting through the feelings of being a single mother. Which, I never wanted for myself. I never saw for myself, but that is the reality. And so I had to sit through these very intense feelings soberly, right? So I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have sex, I don't do any of those things. And so this last year, I just went into this hermit mode where I was really getting close to God, really getting close to self, really letting go of all the things that no longer serve me and sitting through that soberly. And so I no longer had a want to share that. I really wanted to go through that personally. Okay. And so now that I feel like I'm on the other side of this thing, right? So I'm back in St. Louis right now. I decided, God put on my heart. He was like, you need to sell your childhood home. So I'm back in St. Louis. I've been here since August 7th. Today is September the 11th. So a little over a month I've been here. And I've just been prepping, right? Throwing things away, painting and getting the floors shined and doing all the things that you do to sell a home. And so throughout this process even has been very, very healing as well, because I've had to sit with very intense emotions of, letting my childhood home go that my mother bought when I was, 5. But understanding and knowing that with letting go and with endings come new beginnings. And so I'm ready for all things fresh and new. I'm ready for the blessings. I'm ready for the abundance. I'm ready for the gifts and the rewards for all of my hard work. I have been putting in the work, y'all. So as you see, the title of this video is my testimony. I wanted to share my testimony with you guys because I do finally feel that I'm on the other side of that thing, and now I can come back and bring my people along with me, okay? The direction of this channel, I see it going in a totally new, totally different direction. I don't want to, share my daily life or anything like that, but what I do want is it to be my ministry. I want to come on here and share God's word with you guys. I want to come on here and use myself as a vessel to let you guys know what is possible, okay? Because if God can take me up out the darkness, I know that he can do the same for you, okay? And so I just I wanted to take time to share a little bit of my testimony so you guys can understand how I am equipped and prepared to bring you guys this information. So my story starts back when I was about 7 years old, okay? I was introduced to pornography at a very young age, and I was introduced to it via Real Sex on HBO. For those of you that know, HBO used to become on regular cable, and so it would be in the middle of the night, mom would be asleep or whatever the case may be, and so me and my brother, we stumbled on Real Sex, and it became a thing where I would watch it daily. I would watch it every night. I like to see the naked bodies, and so being a human being and having feeling, right? Eventually, I started to feel things when I would watch these shows. Ultimately making myself orgasm very, very rarely. I probably was like 8 or 9, okay? Then that graduated, right? Because now that I felt something, now I want to feel it more. I want to feel it more, right? Orgasms feel amazing. We know that. So for an 8-year-old that has no idea what this feeling is, she's a little bit embarrassed to go tell anybody, right? So she's just going to try to explore more and more and more. So I graduated from, using my hands to using physical objects to, try to achieve these very intense orgasmic feelings. And ultimately that led me on a steadfast addiction to pornography. So, I watched porn for a very, very long time. I also used very stimulating machines, vibrators and all the things, right? That led me on a path to destruction. Okay. But I had no idea I was on a path to destruction. I just thought that I loved sex. I used to tell people sex is my thing. I love sex. Sex is just, it just became my addiction. It became my crutch. Anytime I had, a stressful day at school, or anytime my mother was making me mad, or anytime, I was feeling the feeling, sex is what I used to cope, and nobody knew, right? I would go in my room, I would shut the door, and I would, have these sessions with myself for hours and hours on end, right? And, that just became my thing. So as I got older, of course, my thresholds got higher and higher. I mean, I started using vibrators, at 15, 16, right? So by the time I'm 20, I'm so desensitized, I can't get off by just touch or, I gotta watch the porn, I gotta have my vibrator, then I gotta be thinking about something, and that threshold continued to get higher and higher to the point now I'm needing girl on girl, now I'm needing 2 guys, and now I'm putting myself in very risky situations in order to achieve, these scenarios, and it just got to be very, very risky. Now, it also came a time where I decided I wanted to be what is called a tantric touch practitioner. So that is the fancy word for giving, nude body massages. Now, I will say that I truly, truly, genuinely had the right intention. I understood, and I ended up getting married, and in my marriage, my husband lacked the capacity to, touch me in a very, calm and gentle way. And I had no idea how to communicate my needs to him. So what ended up happening was I ended up going to get a massage, a Thai massage at a Asian massage parlor. And when I left, I, was a little moist or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's what my body needs. Slow, intentional touch. And so when I understood what it was that I loved and needed, I got more of it, and my body responded in such a beautiful way to it. And so I said, well, if I need this, I know other people need it too. So I decided I wanted to open up this business, this tantric touch business, right? Tantra is the study of energy, essentially intertwining energy, okay, connecting and making sure that it is, flowing in a very vibrant way, essentially. And so I wanted to study Tantra. I wanted to practice Tantra on other people. And so I opened up a massage business. And again, I had genuine intention going into it. But something I didn't understand, which my mentor would explain to me later on, is through Tantra, it's impossible, especially when you are in person. It's impossible to for your clients to keep their sexual energy over there and you keep yours over here, right? It's going to intermingle regardless if you want to or not. So the more clients that I had, the darker I started to feel. Okay, I started to smoke again. I have smoked blacks for 8 years, and so I was like a year clean of Black and Milds, which is like a cigar. I started to smoke blacks again, right? And then I started to have very promiscuous sex again. I started to feel even more empty, just from a day to day. And so I had to look at it, right? Because I really reached a very dark period where I was doing things that were so beneath me, okay? So beneath me. And that ultimately was my rock bottom, to where I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I had clients that made me feel so uneasy, but I was doing it for the money, okay? Because the darker I got, the darker the client got, right? They no longer just wanted a massage with a happy ending. Now, can I touch you there? Can I touch you here? Right? And that became, something that I would say okay to, because I was such in a dark space myself. I'm like, for the money, whatever, go ahead. Right? So it put me in a very compromising position, to where I'm doing things that are so beneath me and not a part of my personality at all, to where I have to take a step back and say, okay, Nicole, what is going on here? Who have you become? Who are you? What is this? What have you created here? Right? And so I said, okay, enough is enough. I've been addicted to sex my entire life. Since I was 8 or 9 years old, I've been addicted to sex. And I was able to put a word to it. Like, I never wanted to accept that I had a sex addiction. I never wanted to accept that. I never wanted to accept that I was addicted to porn. I never wanted to accept that my lady parts were desensitized from using vibrators for years on years. I didn't want to accept these things because they're very hard. It's hard to accept. Right? So eventually I started to put word to it. I said, okay, I got a sex addiction. Okay, I can't be having sex with my clients. I can't be having sex with these random men. I can't be putting, what am I doing? So I would see this guy's Facebook post often, okay? And he would talk about sacred sexuality, which is a lot what Tantra is, right? In the light of it. So I was like, okay. At first, it was hard for me to read his work because I was in such a dark space. I wasn't ready to accept the sacred side of sexuality, or even, I didn't even want to come to an understanding of what that could possibly be or what that could mean for me. Okay. So I decided to finally read what he had to put out one day. And he talked about how lovemaking is supposed to be slow. He said lust is fast, love is slow. Okay. Anytime, your man comes in, jackrabbit, right? And then he explodes all over your belly, and then, he rolls over, go to sleep, and you go on your phone and start scrolling because you're totally dissatisfied and, totally just, not okay with how your life is going, but you accept it because it is what it is. That's what you've told yourself. That is the story that you hold on tight to, because what else is there, right? So I said, okay, this is starting to make sense. Now I saw he offered courses, and I'm like, okay. So if sex traumatized me so deeply, it could potentially be my healer. What is this sexual alchemy that you speak of? Because he talked a lot about sexual alchemy, and I never really heard the word alchemy before. All I knew was, the alchemical process of like turning, heating up gold or something. That's all I had ever heard of alchemy. I really didn't understand what it meant, but I said, okay, I love sex, right? Not only was I a tantric touch practitioner, but I also was through these elaborate big sex parties in my city. Okay, over 500 guests, you know, drag show over here, burlesque show over there, BDSM rope tie over here. Like I was that girl that did all the things in the sex industry in my city. So I said, if sex could traumatize me so deeply, maybe it's a possibility that it could also be my healer. So I decided to schedule a course with him, and it was the sexual alchemy course. That was the first one that I scheduled, and he taught me about sexual alchemy. And basically what sexual alchemy is transmuting the potent, powerful sexual energy that resides in the root chakra up the spine to create everlasting life. And I know for a lot of you guys, you would say it sounds witchy, you know. So on my journey, I have pulled from many doctrines. I have pulled from the Christian doctrine. I have pulled from the spirituality doctrine. I've pulled from just gut instinct and gut inner knowing. Okay, and that's where I pull most of my ish from. But I know a lot of Christians think anything that has to do with the chakras or crystals or sage or whatever the case may be is demonic and blah, blah, blah. But what I want you to understand is that you're a human being just as much as you are a spiritual being. So just as much as you need to hone in and love the God within, you have to also love the vessel that is being used to carry you through this lifetime. And that vessel has chakras. Regardless if you want it to or not, regardless if you want to believe it or not, the vessel has chakras, just like it has a liver and a gut and a heart and all of the things. It has the chakras up the spine. Okay, and so you have to make sure that those chakras are activated. You have to make sure that they are working at their optimal function. Just like you have to make sure your gut is functioning properly and your liver is functioning properly and your heart is functioning properly and all of the things are functioning properly. You have to make sure that your chakras are spinning and doing what they need to do. But see, when we go through our traumas and we go through the things that we go through in life, right, it blocks us. It blocks us internally. And so the chakra stops spinning. And so see, me being addicted to sex, all of my energy was at the root chakra. It was down, deep down up in there. And so when the religions reference heaven and hell, right? Hell is down there. Heaven is up there. And so I think the churches, they teach that heaven and hell is a place that you go once you leave here, but really it's where we are now. It's what we're doing here on earth. So when all of your energy, your sexual energy, your life force energy, see, sexual energy is who you are. It's what you're made up of. It is everything. Sexual energy is everything. It is your life force energy. Okay, when you were created, your mother and your father came together, had sex, and it produced you. Sexual energy is creative energy. It is that thing. Okay, so all of my life force energy resided in the root chakra area, which meant I saw the world through hell. I was living in hell. Okay, because that's where my sexual energy resided. And not only did it reside in the root chakra, but every time I had sex with someone who didn't value me, who didn't love me deeply, I was pouring it out. The little bit that I had that resided so low within my body, I was pouring that out too. So now I'm a leech. Now I'm begging. Somebody come fill me up. Somebody come give me some love. Somebody come, run their hand down my arm. Just make me feel something for a minute because I'm depleted. Now I'm depleted. And that's what I had to learn. When that sexual energy, that life force energy is all in your root chakra area, it's low already, and then you keep spilling it out, you're depleted. That's death. That's when you feel those low vibrational feelings, that depression and that anxiety and that worry and that fear. All of those are very low vibrating emotional states of being. And so when your life force energy is so low within the body, that is who you are. That's how you're going to see the world. You're going to see the world through hell. Not only will you see the world through hell, but you will attract hell to you. So when you have, the car accidents, or, you have all of these bills and your children ain't acting right and all of the things, right? That's because you are living in hell, and that is what you are attracting to you. So my mentor had to teach me how to raise that sexual energy up, raise that life force energy up, okay? And stop having it reside so low within my body, and stop giving it out so effortlessly, so frivolously, okay? Which was a task because I'm addicted. It's just like a heroin addict, right? A heroin addict, you can't just say, oh, just stop your heroin. Because if it was that easy, they would do it. It's not that easy. I had to get down on my knees and figure it out. I started doing the steps. Okay? He gave me steps to do. I'll give you a few of them, not all of them, but a few of them are getting out in sunlight, making sure I fuel my body up with vitamin D. Eating a balanced alkaline diet. Alkaline meaning, fruits, vegetables. Okay? And most importantly, celibacy. Celibacy was the most important thing and what I had to do first. Now, was that easy? Hell no. I've been having sex with myself since I was 7, and I started having sex with other people when I was 12. Now you telling me just to stop? I've been having sex all my life. I'm 32. I did not have sex. I never went on no break. So now you telling me don't do it. Okay, so I tripped up. I tripped up a couple of times. All right? But then I got it. I was good. I got it. We celibate. Little by little, I started to feel that energy activate other chakras in my body. I started to feel the vitality. I started to feel the goodness, the love within. Little by little. So little by little, I stopped watching porn. I remember I was laying in the bed one day doing my normal routine. I used to watch porn every single day, y'all. Every day. There wasn't a day that didn't go by I didn't watch porn and use my big jumbo vibrator. I mean, it was huge. That I on my clit. And I used to have like maybe 5 minutes of a little 5-minute session. Boop, it would be over. It would be done. One day I'm just laying in the bed, doing my thing that I normally do on the phone with the porn. And I was disgusted. I cannot even tell you the amount of disgust that came over me. And where it came from, I have no idea. But I was disgusted. I could not watch it. I got up out of the bed that day. I threw away my vibrator that cost over $100. And I never watched porn ever again from that day forward. I remember the day like it was yesterday. And it simply came from me allowing the sexual energy, allowing my life force energy to start to permeate throughout my being. Okay? It started to rise. It started to rise up. Now, when I learned about sexual alchemy and when I started this, God wasn't even on my radar. I didn't have a relationship with God. Okay? When I started this, I didn't even consider God. I didn't say, God about to heal me. All right? That was not even on my radar. If somebody told me sexual alchemy is about to send you down the road of righteousness, send you down through a relationship with the Most High, it's going to get you in order, okay? It's going to eliminate all your chaos. It's about to do some things. You about to transform. You about to You about to be somebody different. You about to let go of all the things that no longer serve you effortlessly. It's gonna hurt. You might cry, you might feel, but you're gonna get through it. Because now you got love within you. It's not spilling out, right? So the more I kept my sexual energy inside of me, the more it started to permeate throughout my entire being. The more I started to feel those higher vibrational feelings, that heaven on earth, right? The more I started to feel that happiness, that joy, that love, the abundance. Okay? And the more that started to reflect outwardly. The more I literally transformed. Inserts picture of the transformation. Give it up for your girl. Like, sis been out here doing the work. You have to understand who you are externally is literally a reflection of your insides. It is who you are internally. As within, so without. Okay? And I think this is not talked about. Right? See, everybody tries to tell you that the path to righteousness and the path to living in abundance is through following a religion or following the Bible, very religiously. But I want to let you guys know, and I want to be the way maker and help you understand that there's other ways to get back right with God. Okay? There's other ways to get back right with God, because see, God loves you unconditionally. All right? He loves you unconditionally, and he wants you to realize that and know that. So once I started to keep my sexual energy inside of me, my world started to open up. Okay, that's when I was like, okay, I gotta leave my marriage. My marriage is no longer serving me. I said, okay, I have to leave St. Louis. I can't be here anymore. So I got out of St. Louis. I moved to Merida. And when I moved to Merida, that's when God put me in isolation. And I had no idea that that's what I was even going there for. I thought I was going for the beach. I thought it was vacation. It was going to be a long-term vacation. That's what I thought. Okay? No. God sent me on assignment. Sis was on assignment. Didn't even know how to put words to it then. I was on assignment for God. God said, you going into isolation? Because this is training, really. Really is training. I have to build you up spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I got to build you up so you can go back out here and do amplify my message. That's what God said. I need to build you up so you can get back out here and amplify what I got going on in the kingdom. And I was like, oh. But see, this revelation only came to me maybe 5 months ago, when I really understood, oh, I'm not here to be on the beach and have my feet in the sand. I'm here because God is building me up. He had to take me away from all my vices. I had to get away from my friends that are smoking and drinking and having sex and doing the things out at the clubs and the parties and all of the stuff, right? I had to get away from the Black and Milds. They don't got Black and Milds in Mexico. I couldn't even smoke it if I wanted to. I had no desire to go to the clubs and do that type of thing. I'm taking care of my baby, right? I'm taking care of my baby. I'm going to the beach. I'm planting my feet. I'm coming back. I'm watching YouTubers that are preaching the word of God, right? I am doing sessions with my mentor. I am feeding my body alkaline foods. I am transmuting my sexual energy through my sexual alchemy ritual, which I'll tell y'all about that more in another video. But I am doing the work. I'm going to yoga 3-4 days a week. Okay? I'm sitting in solitude. I am meditating. I have no distractions. And it all started with me withholding my sexual energy. And the more that love, God's love, that life force started to permeate my being, that is when that abundance started to spill out of me. Spill out of me. Okay? And I literally I literally became who I was creating on the inside. So then God said, all right, you've been in isolation for about a year. Now I'm about to send you back home. I got you on an assignment back home. I want you to go sell your childhood home. I need you to finalize your divorce. These were all things that I couldn't do a year ago. A year ago, selling my mother's home, getting a divorce. I had abandonment issues, y'all. I had abandonment issues. So you want me to leave the man that's been there for me in the capacity in which he was able to, right? You want me to get rid of him. Then you want me to get rid of the home that my mother raised me in since I was 5. And she died. What's going on here, God? See, a year ago, I didn't have the capacity to do these things because they were too intense. The feeling of leaving a marriage that no longer served me was too intense. The feeling of letting go of a home that no longer served me was too intense. I didn't have the capacity. See, God said, well, see, I sent you to Mexico. You've been in isolation. Now you built up. You good. I sent you through your daughter having hand, foot, and mouth. And then a month later, having chicken pox in such y'all, I cannot even tell y'all how bad her chicken pox was. So bad to where I got a version of it. I don't even know what it was. It was like on my hands and feet only. And then it made my nails fall off, y'all. Like I was so stressed. I was so, that chicken pox saga was the worst feeling I probably ever went through in my life. It was worse. It was, I would say that feeling was worse than when my mom died. And that was like bad. And I know y'all probably like, it's just chicken pox, but for whatever reason, we went down, up, and through here with the chicken pox. So God said, I literally had you in a whole nother country, going through hand, foot, and mouth with your daughter, going through chicken pox with your daughter, going through those very intense feelings alone, right? I was by myself, didn't have no family there, didn't have no friends there, didn't have nobody to cling on to, didn't have nobody to lean on, right? So he said, I didn't send you through all of this. I've been preparing you. This was the preparation. This was the training process. This is what you've been doing. This was not vacation. This wasn't no sunshine and rainbows. You was there preparing. You was there on assignment, training for this. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. So I've been in the States for, like I said, a little over a month. I haven't smoked the black. I haven't had sex with any random men. I haven't, and by the way, I am a year and 7 months free of sexual intercourse. Let's give it up. That is a huge accomplishment. I have let go of every vice. And so God said, I'm going to put you back in the environment in which traumatized. Look, am I saying that correctly? I'm putting you back in the environment that traumatized you. And I'm about to see if who you say you are. I'm about to see if I can trust you. I'm about to see what's going on. So I've been here. I ain't smoked. I ain't drank. I ain't had to have sex. No, see, what happens is when I go through the very intense emotions of letting go of this home that is no longer serving me, I drop to my knees and I just ask God to save me. I ask God to release any feeling in my body that may be holding me back. Okay. And then I cry, I scream. I have the tools now, because if I could be in a whole nother country nurturing my baby who has the chickenpox saga, right, by myself, I can deal with this. If I can nurture my dying mother who has stage 4 lung cancer, bathe her, feed her, put peppermint oil on her chest just so she can feel a little bit better. Y'all, if I can do that, I can do this. See, what I have learned is now I use my past experience to self-nurture. I nurture myself through what I have been through. That is the purpose of the experiences. See, we get upset with God when we go through things, right? We're like, God, why me? Why me? Why have you placed me here? Why do I have to walk through this fire? Why do I have to walk through that fire? Well, what makes you think that you should have privilege to heaven without going through hell first? What makes you so great? We all have to do it. I'm literally going through my Jesus walk. I'm literally being burned at the stake. I'm going through the darkness. Okay? So I can live again, so I can be born again. So then I can do God's work out here. So I can be equipped. So sex happened to be my thing. Right? Sex happened to be the thing that was used to take me down through there. Sex happened to be that thing for me. And through me being addicted to sex, I became addicted to Black and Milds, and I became addicted to alcohol, and I became addicted to pornography, and I became addicted to many other vices, right? But sex was the catalyst to it all. And so once I healed myself sexually, I was able to heal myself from all the things that was a result of the trauma. See, the pornography, me watching and viewing pornography at 7 years old was the trauma. See, a lot of people would be like, oh, did you have a rape? Were you molested? No, none of that. I watched porn. Porn is traumatizing. It's unreal. Okay, I thought I liked girls for over 10 years because I got aroused to female lesbian porn. And then when I would do it, I would be like, ew, this doesn't serve me, right? So once I started to heal sexually, when I started to raise that sexual energy up, okay, and allow it to permeate my being and withhold it within me, keep it tight, sacred. I started to heal the things that were connected to the trauma. See, the vices be what we use to suppress what we go through. Okay? When you overeat, when you have a food addiction, you basically wearing your trauma. Anytime I see somebody that's overweight, I'm like, they done been through some things that they don't have the courage to heal. They rather eat the biscuits than sit through the stuff. Okay? They rather eat the biscuits than just cry a little. Just stomp their feet a little. Just scream a little. Sometimes you got to put sound to that thing. Okay? Sometimes you got to let it out. Up and out. You got to. Because if you don't, you will literally live a life of dysfunction, a life of unease, a life of dissatisfaction, a life of hell on earth. And you don't deserve that. See, when God put us here, he put us here to live an abundant life. He put us here to have riches, y'all, to have gold, to have that house on the hills, to have beautiful marriages, to have beautiful children. He put us here to have beautiful life experiences. And that is heaven on earth. It does exist, but in order to get to it, you're going to have to go through your stuff. You're going to have to sit in your mess. You're going to have to heal. You're going to have to get to the other side of that thing. And you have to understand that God is not going to bless no mess. So if you do not want to walk through the fire, you will never get to heaven on earth. Okay? You want to wait until you die to figure out if that's going to take you there? Because look, if God put me here, you best believe I'm about to live a good life. I'm not about to be, struggling, being all like in my masculine bag, Miss Independent, gotta go get it every day, sitting at some office under some fluorescent lights for 8 hours, listening to somebody's boss. Nah, God, my boss. I'm obeying him. I'm gonna be obedient to him. Okay, I'm going to do what he tell me to do because God is a provider and he's going to provide my every need. I am fully funded and provided for. So no, I don't have to work hard. I can remain in my feminine essence. I can remain in my softness, okay, and do what women were designed to do. Nurture, okay, be creative. Yes, amplify the masculine's purpose, y'all. I am amplifying God's purpose right now through this video. Yes. Okay. I finally understood what the assignment is. And the assignment now is to amplify my daddy's message. Yes, I said my daddy, because he's my sugar daddy. He be giving me what I want. As long as I follow his rules, as long as I do what he asks me to do, and I'm obedient, he's going to give me whatever I want. And that's just how it works. So when you walk through the fire, okay, and you become obedient, and you become disciplined, and you do what your daddy says, you will have heaven on earth. You will have a life that you can only dream of. Y'all, I am a living witness. And so I want to let you know that we all have that thing, right? It could have been a very traumatic abortion, or a very traumatic childbirth, or a very traumatic rape, or a very traumatic mother that you wanted to escape from, or, daddy wounds, or whatever it is, We all have that thing that traumatized us deeply. And then we have the vices that we use to suppress our trauma. We have the alcohol, we have the smoke, we have the sex, we have the partying, we have the plethora of friendships, right, that really aren't serving us. We have the jobs that we overwork and slave at. We have the things that we use to suppress the pain that we've been through, okay? But I want to let you know that you do not have to live that life anymore. If God can bring me through the darkness of a sexual addiction, okay, he can bring you through the darkness of whatever it is that you've gone through. Nothing's too big for God. Nothing's too big for him. Get on your knees and start to ask for forgiveness. Start to ask for clarity. Start to ask for wisdom. Start to ask for the knowledge, and see that it will be delivered to you. Now, what I want to tell you is that some people are meant to settle. Some people in this lifetime will never get it, and that's okay. All right. But who I am here to talk to is the people that want to get to the other side of this thing. I want to talk to the people that are ready to walk through the fire. I want to talk to the people that have enough willpower, okay, to say, you know what? This marriage no longer serves me. I got to let it go. You know what? These black and miles that I've been smoking to suppress this pain, they no longer serve me. I'm going to let them go. Them the people I want to talk to. I want to talk to the people that want to be obedient. I want to talk to the people that want to have some discipline. I want to talk to the people that really want to cultivate and understand what it means to be a woman in this lifetime. What it means to be a woman does not mean I'm working every day, not around my children, competing with my husband. That's not what it means to be a woman. What it means to be a woman is to be soft, feminine, and free. Okay? Free to do as you please, free to be creative, free to be nurturing and loving and soft. Yes. So, y'all, I hope that this testimony helped you in some kind of way. I hope that you got something from it. Y'all will learn that I be preaching, okay? I really can't speak without getting all passionate. I'm very passionate about this because it transformed my life, y'all. My life has done a 360, and I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I just live such a happy, such a beautiful life. And just a little over a year ago, I could never have dreamt this ever. So I know what doing the work produces. I know this firsthand. I ain't bought it. Okay, I ain't laid on no table for it. This all hard work and dedication. This all discipline. This all 10 toes down in this thing. Okay, and so I'm here to help you get through it. I'm here to give you that inspiration you need. I'm here to tell you that it's possible. Period. It's possible. So that's all I got. I'm gonna be back with another video. I want to talk a little bit more about celibacy. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be dropping a video every Wednesday. So I really hope to see you guys soon. Thank you again for dropping in. Again, I'm Nikki, your straight talk, no chaser guide to freedom, choosing to live in the presence of truth or nothing at all. And I'm so grateful for your presence here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop a video. And make sure you comment. Y'all, tell me what you want to hear. Give me any questions that you may have about my journey, any sexual questions, because I know sex is super taboo. People don't want to talk about it, but see, you got to understand that I'm your straight talk, no chaser guide to freedom. So whatever we got to talk about to get to the other side is what we gonna talk about. All right, so there's nothing too big for Nikki. All right, so I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.